All right, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Undefiled with your host
Undefiled.
AC,
And Ivy.
and we're excited to be able to be back with you all again for our fourth episode in our series that's titled "From Dating to Marriage." We have been, I guess, blessed to be able to share with this. It's been a phenomenal series, man. We appreciate all of you that are tuning in live right now. Those that have been watching the replays, commenting, sending in, I guess, your thoughts. Your ideas, chiming in with the conversation as we've been going forth. We've been dealing with some great things. We started off talking about I think last week was table manners. Talking about the expectations when you enter into marriage. What do you bring to the table? What do you expect your significant other to bring to the table? What that looks like, how that looks. So that was a great conversation. My wife kind of got on my nerves a little bit, but
How did I do that?
nothing. We just talking. We just talking.
You already started off wrong. How I
We
got
just-
on your nerves?
no, just never mind that. We already passed that. We already passed that. So yeah, so it
Ain't
was,
even start good.
so anyway, it's been a great series, man. We talked about what was the other show's name?
Entanglement, uh, table manners.
And the first one was why get married. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
why
it
did I
was.
get married? Yeah.
So yeah, man, we've been excited. So today we're talking about who did I marry? And if you saw the promotional material, you saw the flyer where we had several different photos that showed several different emotions that you can have in marriage. Had one where my wife was kind of choking me out, and that's actually not playing. She literally was choking me for real in that photo.
And we'll do it again.
And there was one where I was playing with my wife like I was choking her, but I would never do that. That would never happen in real life.
You want to?
Never happens in real life. Um, then we had one, of course, where it showed us loving one another and being in love. Um, and then it also had one where we was also kind of mad, sad, depressed. So all of the different emotions, but these are emotions that you can feel towards your partner, your significant other, your spouse, while you're going through the series of events called life and dealing with marriage. Now, the thing that we wanted to talk about on today was that question: who did I marry? And how does that question play when it comes to marriage? And at what point does that tend to happen or come up in marriage? Or do you ever find yourself asking that question? And so I'll start off with my wife. Do you ever or have you ever asked that question?
Is that even a question?
That was a question.
Yes, plenty times, plenty of
Well,
times.
explain to me.
Okay, so I would say that, like I said in times past, when we were, I guess, dating, he was like everything. He couldn't do any wrong or whatever. And then when we got married, it was more so of, to me, it's like he changed. It's like he flipped. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I guess because life hit. And we wasn't together every day. So when we got married and I started living with you, you wasn't the same. Because I'm telling you, like I said before, y'all, his mama warned me.
This mama stuff. I don't know why she always bring up my mama.
His mama warned me. She said, "Baby, this gonna be your problem." I said, "Nah, ma, that's not true. Cause he wouldn't do that. Cause he's not like that. He's perfect. There's nothing wrong with him." Little did I know, when we got married and moved in, his real colors came out. So I'm like, who did I marry?
So first of all, what you doing right here? You're not gonna do that. And let me in the shot. Scoot over. This ain't your show by yourself. Why am I out of the frame? Scoot over.
See how he talked to me.
Scoot
and
over.
I am
No,
over.
scoot the whole chair over. Let me in the dog. There we go. All right. Nah, I'm tired of people can't even see me. You trying to turn this into the Ivy show. But no. So I don't know what she's talking about because I've always been who I am.
Okay.
I have not ever been not who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But I can say I've asked that same question. Like, who is this woman that I married? I never forget when we first went on our first vacation. Matter of fact, it was our honeymoon. When we went on our, don't laugh. When we went on our honeymoon, just after getting married, went straight to the honeymoon. Got there, and all of a sudden now I see her in some shorts. Stop laughing. I see her in some shorts. and all of a sudden she went to stand, and when she stand, her knees went all the way back. What is this? Who? When? How long
It
have?
wasn't. It
How long has this been going on?
babe, is what it's called lock knee or
Yeah.
something.
What is? I'm like, how long have your knees not been? Why are you standing like this? And when did this start? Every all before marriage, she always wore the long dress like she was apostolic. So I never knew. And I was like, what are you doing?
Well, I couldn't show you because we wasn't together, so I had to keep myself covered.
Don't do that. Don't do that because you already done told these people everything on the last episode. Yeah. You see, them people know you lying. Don't do that.
I ain't lying.
Don't do that. But yet, I say it jokingly, but there are certain times, certain things, and certain aspects of your spouse that you just never find out about until after you get married. And when these things happen, you're like, what is this? Who are you? You know, what is these things that take place? I think it's a movie. I forget the title. I know it's a Tyler Perry movie. It was a play. No. I know that's obvious one. No, I'm talking about it wasn't a movie about marriage. I think it was either Temptation, which is matter of fact, yeah, it was Temptation, which is a movie that is the adaptation of his play, The Marriage Counselor. But basically, it's a story of a woman who leaves her. I think he was her husband. Yeah, she leaves her husband for another guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then when they get together, she finds out, he woos her with charm and all this other stuff, money, all these great things, makes her feel so comfortable. Everything that the husband is not, boom, bam, bam. Even though that's not, the premise of her being pulled away isn't the point. The point is, once she got into the relationship, once she got into the quote unquote entanglement, she's like, who is this guy? He turned into an abuser. He turned into a drug addict and all these other things. So when you look at it, these things can happen. These things take place. And so a lot of times we never really look at it. Now, that's an extreme version. There are some people who have those types of extreme testimonies as far as marital issues. But nevertheless, even if it's not to that extreme, there are certain things that you start to realize about your spouse. You're like, wait a minute now, I don't know if I signed up for this. Right. I don't know, I didn't know that this is how you work. This even goes back to, I think we had a conversation when we talked about table manners. Mm-hmm. We were talking about how these are the types of conversations that you want to have even before marriage. You want to ask your spouse, the potential spouse, whatever. What do you look like when you get angry? What triggers you? Okay, when you're triggered, how do you normally respond? Are you good at controlling your anger? Are you good at controlling your temper? Are you not? How are you in hostile environments? Right. How are you in crowds?
For us, I guess our biggest struggle when we first got married was when we were dating, we have kids outside of the marriage. So while we were dating or whatever, we, joined our kids together. Everything was fine, this, that, and the third. So when we got married, a lot of that changed because now, our kids are, we're joined together. So his kids, my kids, his kids. And so we had a lot of bumps in the road with that because technically, I guess in a single mind, you don't sign up for it. But when you marry a person, what's his is yours and what's yours is his. So that was our struggle, trying to blend in a blended family.
And that was a whole different thing because when we started looking at the blended family, that was like, because now, like she said, we had already had one dynamic that we were struggling with because when we moved in and then started living together, we started seeing aspects of one another that we never saw, right. Like, hold on, let me scoot over a little bit.
So now you got to get.
I'm getting out of arm's reach. That's okay. All that is because you start seeing parts of your spouse that you didn't never saw before. You never saw this before, and so when you start seeing those things, and y'all forgive us if you don't see us responding to your comments. I can see them on my phone, but for some reason I can't see them in the StreamYard like we normally could. So that's why I just pulled it up on my phone because I know we got viewers. I'm like, my people comment. I see your comments now. Look, Toonie said we need to go stand in the corner. I really need to go stand in the corner. I ain't going nothing wrong. I'm a saint. Oh.
Go ahead.
See, that's why I scoot over now because I don't trust you. Y'all
you don't trust your wife.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, I will take my time, bro. I will. But so anyway, when you start moving in, you start noticing different things, and you're trying to figure out how do you handle it. Like, how do you handle morning rep? When she roll over and say good morning, and wait a minute now. Good and well, your good morning kind of hot. You miss space and time to get about this bed. You go put a little before you start speaking.
But you say that though, but babe.
That'll keep it.
Oh, now you want me to keep it.
I gotta mind you.
Oh, now you want me to keep it. Now I need to hold my tongue.
Yeah, now you might be going too far.
Oh, I was. Yeah. I was finna take it there.
No, don't take it there.
Okay.
That's me. In my time. You respect you got your own time.
Okay.
Look, nah. But all of these things are things that you want to think about. So when we looked at it, right, when we moved in together, when we started living together, it was real issues that we started really having that we never really had before, and we started asking that question. I know I did, and she did. Who are you? What is this? My wife's one of her biggest issues, and it was also mine too. We started realizing both of us really had strong anger issues. I had a real bad attitude. My wife had a real bad mouth. And those things don't mix. I thought we were telling the truth.
Okay, I got you. We do. We had some problems. I thought I was good though. But I had to pray for you because you had to listen. I had holes in my walls.
Don't tell the people the lies.
Look, the elder got mad one day, y'all, and punched a hole in my wall. I said, "No."
First of all, I paid for that.
Let me mama. No, this joker didn't.
See there, you about to get it all monetization lost. See there.
I did better. But like he said, I did have a mouth, and he did have his issues, and we didn't know nothing that. I mean, because like I said, when we was dating, it was fine. Nobody had no attitude with each other. So
we weren't arguing about nothing. We didn't
have.
But then again, at the same time, we didn't have the real life issues facing us that would create these types of arguments.
Right.
There was something that somebody said earlier. I think it was another show that we did when they talked about can you really ever be whole before marriage, or can you fully be? I guess the idea, they got this new thing now that when you're single, you're not half, but you're supposed to be whole, and then two whole people come together. And so someone asked the question, can you ever really be whole without marrying? Can you really be solidified? And in some aspects, yeah, you can really kind of find your space, your peace of mind. But there's just some things that you're not going to find out about yourself that you need to work on until you get married, because they're not an issue for you. My attitude and my point of reference, my anger, is not a problem for me. It's a problem for people that have to deal with me. And so until I enter into a relationship where someone has to consistently deal with me and deal with my attitude, I may never have to address the fact that I have an attitude. But once I enter into that covenant, and now this person has to consistently deal with me, now my attitude may prove to be a problem. And so in my singleness, my attitude isn't the issue. But in marriage, my attitude is a major problem. And so because the Bible says the two become one, then there's some aspects of that singleness that has to die for me to enter into covenant.
That was good. I couldn't put it better.
And so, even with that, you got to kind of look at those types of things. So you want to look at the situation when you're talking about who did I marry. Don't just look at the negative things that you tend to see in marriage. Their attitude, the arguments, their response. Because a lot of times in the earlier stages, he's Prince Charming. She's what, Snow White? I don't know. Snow White's not a good example. Snow White was dead. Never mind. That's not a good example. I don't know. What's the opposite of Prince Charming?
I don't know, but it's not Snow White.
She whatever. I don't know. Y'all put it in the comments and I'll read. I don't know. But the point is that when you first meet, when you first getting together, they pull up the Davis Clan page so I can see what's on it. But when you first meet, when you first getting together, both of y'all are kind of putting on your best, right? So he's trying to win you. He's trying to persuade you that he's the good one. He's the stuff, And same thing with her. She's trying to convince you that she got it going on. Princess. All right, I'll just say princess.
Who said it?
Monica. I can hear her hollering hysterically right now. But so with those, with that being said, you know, those things are things you have to kind of keep in your mind. You know, y'all really haven't seen the real side of each other because of the fact you've been both kind of working to convince one another that you're worth being together. But it's once you entered into that covenant, and sadly to say, um, this is a real issue that some people tend to deal with in marriage too. But once you enter into that covenant, and especially after there's been some time, then somewhere along the lines, even for the man or the woman, you lose that desire to chase because you feel like you've already caught.
Mm-hmm.
And that creates the issue. What do you think about that, babe?
I would say, I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt like, and I could be dead wrong,
You might be.
but I felt
I mean, I'm gonna let you speak. I'm
I
just saying,
felt
you
like
know, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you.
that he chased me a whole lot.
Wait, I don't agree no more.
He did. He chased me a whole lot. But I felt like, me personally, the chase slowed down when I got pregnant. And I feel like that's because, you know, women, we get emotional, we eat a lot, we crave a whole lot, everything. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but everything was hurting on me. So I feel like the chase kind of slowed down when I got pregnant. But obviously that didn't stop you, because I got pregnant again, and I got pregnant again and again.
You
and
only got
again.
wait. We ain't got but 3 kids.
Yeah, but we lost 2.
Oh, I'm about to say you would this again and again, and now you're gonna have people thinking we got kids they ain't seen.
You know, yeah. So that's how I feel like, you know, he chased me up until, because
well, all the pregnancies is proof that I was still chasing you.
Yeah, but during the
so
pregnancy,
what do you think? So you see how
during
that's that. See, you see, I feel like he wouldn't chase me, even though we got pregnant again.
We got pregnant again. Saying, so when I felt like
what we was getting pregnant on autopilot. What?
I felt like, you know, because you're pregnant, you don't feel like you know, keeping yourself together, and you're big and
Bishop say, like get out your feelings. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm gonna don't talk. Talk.
Okay, but that's when I felt like the chase kind of slowed down, because I wasn't doing a whole lot, even around the house. I was just. Were you still chasing me, babe?
Yeah, I was just chasing you slower because you couldn't run as fast.
That's how you justify it. Okay.
But no, honestly, the thing about it was, and that was another issue, you know, learning to adjust to who is she now that she's pregnant, because women, when they get pregnant, their hormones change, so they change, their emotions change. My wife loves cologne, but during her pregnancy, she couldn't stand it. So it's just like simple things like that change how you maneuver throughout the day, and it changes how you deal with them. And it's like, that's a lot to have to deal with. So it's like,
that was terrible, babe. I mean, you had just bought the cologne. It smelled so good. And as soon as I got pregnant, you and your cologne finger, it was just upsetting. But we over that now. We over that. I got
you over there. I'm still scarred.
You ain't scarred. I ain't did nothing to you.
You don't know what I go through.
I ain't did nothing to you.
You don't know the tears I cried.
You cried, baby?
No, I ain't cried.
Yeah, you did. You cried?
No. I'm just saying you hurt me.
You were crying, baby? I hurt your feelings? I hurt your feelings?
Yeah, you hurt my feelings.
I did?
Yeah, you act like I ain't had feelings, but you hurt those. They were there, and they got hurt, and they had to grow up all hurt in the form.
I'm sorry. I didn't know I hurt your feelings.
Yeah, you did. Don't touch me.
This is the first time I'm hearing like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, that was really.
Because I'm always telling you how I felt. You never told me how you felt.
I did. You was not listening.
Sorry.
No, get off of me. No, we doing it live now.
Sorry.
No, this ain't no.
I said I'm sorry.
No, get off me. Nah, you had your chance. You ain't want when I was talking to you. You ain't want to listen. Now you want to listen because we lied. No,
I did listen to you.
But you see, I don't know who did she marry. She don't even know her husband got feelings. Swear up and down. I don't talk to her. I talk to her all the time. But then again, all of this is what we're trying to talk about. When you really look at it, though, in all seriousness, when you're going through these motions, you know, when you're dealing with your spouse, one thing I said to someone, because one thing that I dealt with even later on in years, because here's the thing, I think it was Pastor out of Greenville, Kingdom Worship Center. Why is his name drawing a blank right now? I'm seeing his face.
I don't know, but just Pastor so and so.
It's Kevin Steele, Pastor Kelvin Steele. Kelvin Steele, Pastor Kelvin Steele. He made a mention when him and his wife were doing a thing about marriage. They talked about how your spouse goes through changes, and they could change 3, 4, 5 times in marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to be able to adapt to those changes. You got to be able to adapt to them being a different person 3 years later, 2 years later, you know. And that's another mistake that people make when they enter into marriage. A lot of times we say yes to who we see. You know, I say I do to the person that's standing in front of me, but I don't say I do to the people that you might become later. And I'd say people because you might do multiple changes. So, and that's why I believe you have so many people where they enter into marriage with the idea that if something happens, I'm just going to leave. You know, divorce is an option, when you don't realize that divorce is not the option that you choose just because your spouse has made a change, right? Your vows were for sickness and for health, for worse and for poor. Pastor Steele is actually watching. I just shouted you out, Pastor, about a comment that you made about how your spouse can change several times. So I just was giving reference to you. But you know, you make these vows, these commitments verbally about how you're going to stay committed no matter what happens. But a lot of times in the back of our minds, we're saying, I'm committed to the person that's standing in front of me right now, no matter what happens. Not realizing that even though they might be the same physical form, they could be a whole different person mentally, emotionally, psychologically, physically. You know, life happens and causes people to transform. People go through mental breakdowns. All of these things take place. Psychotic episodes that could change who they are in a moment. And because of that, you're no longer married to who they were when you said I do.
Right. And then that makes you say, who
did I marry? See, whenever you enter into marriage, you have to realize that the ultimate goal is for a lifetime. But because it's for a lifetime, that means it's for a lifetime full of changes. I was going back to my point about, you know, people that know me know I talk about my father transitioning, how when he transitioned, the way that he transitioned, the way that everything went down, it affected me so much so that it caused me to develop what they call a mental disorder. You know, I was diagnosed with, I think it was GAD. I don't think it was. I know it was. It was GAD. It affected me psychologically. Well, guess what? That psychological effect, that mental effect that it had on me, weighed on my wife heavy. And there were a lot of things that I went to my wife for that she was not able to do or able to be. And I could have been depressed. I could have been upset. I could have been aggravated with it. But I said this in a men's group that we were talking. And I said, I had to learn on my own terms to give my wife grace for what she was not capable to help me with. I had to learn that it is not her fault that she does not know how to deal with who I am now. I had to learn that. And a lot of times that's another issue that we have, especially when we're in marriage, is we automatically assume that because you're my spouse, that means you should know how to deal with me. But truth to be told, if you don't know how to deal with you, you know, how can you expect them to know how to deal with you? And so a lot of times we give everybody else grace, but we don't give grace to our spouse. We don't give grace to our spouse to be one that misunderstands or misinterprets or is ignorant.
I would say this too, just to piggyback on what you said. For those of you who
what's going on, Kenyatta?
Know the situation with my son. So, and I was expecting my husband to be what I know he couldn't be. And that took a toll on me because it's like, I'm coming to you because I'm about to spaz. Or I'm coming to you because, you know, I'm about to have this whole mental breakdown. And it's like, in the beginning, he has done a lot better, but in the beginning, he knew nothing. He didn't know how to comfort me. He didn't know how to support me. He didn't know nothing. He was just, there. And I'm like, what do I do? And he couldn't give me an answer. And I used to get so mad at him. I'm like, how can you, be my husband and you can't even.
Just
So
let it out. We here now.
yeah, no, but you know how I get when I get to. So I'm about to just
go.
cut
No,
it
don't cut it
off.
off. Let it go.
So
Come on. We here. Go ahead.
So it,
Come on, babe. We,
that's right.
no,
Let's go
it's
to the next
fine.
subject.
No, it's fine. Because you know what the reality of it is that so long, what ends up happening is we expect our spouse to be the answer to the problems that we have. And then when we realize that they're not, they can't be, it creates dissension in the marriage because you put too much pressure on them to be something they don't have the capacity to be. With all of my anointing, with all of my grace, with all of the prayer life that I have, with all of the elevation that God has given me in the church to be an elder and all of these different things, I still am not always at full capacity to be able to minister to my wife the way she needs to. I have to learn. I have to have a desire to want to know. I've got to get a level of understanding to seek it, right? But I can't seek it if I don't know that it's there. So all of that is stuff that you start realizing it really begins to happen. And even when she talks about this, I had to learn that it's a way to minister to her versus a way that I want to minister. And those two different things, right? So when I look at my wife in her broken moments, when she's going through that, when she's dealing with that, when she's going through these issues, these trials, these emotional stuff, it comes out in so many different ways. Like, don't let this, and I'm not saying this to belittle the
No,
moment
you're
that,
good.
but don't let these tears fool you because that's not her first response when she's going through. It comes out in other ways. But as a man, and I think someone put it in the comments, women have to know that we're not psychic. And I agree with that. Sometimes they expect that you know what's wrong without them having to tell you, and that's very frustrating. I'm gonna just go ahead and put that out there. Nothing is more frustrating than you expecting me to know what's wrong with you without you telling me. That's just, the Lord ain't told me, oh, your wife going through this. I just want you to know that. I don't know how it works like that for everybody, every other husband out there, but I know for me, that's not how it works. But yet still, I had to learn, which took time. It takes time to do this, but I had to learn the signs. And I also had to learn the seasons. There's certain seasons where it hits harder than others. And then when it happens, what are the signs? What begins to take place? Okay, you're starting to do this again. Okay, I see you doing that. You being a little short with me more than what you would normally do. Okay, all of this begins to help you to discern how to respond and also pick up what do I need to do. But again, that even takes time because you don't always know the answers. And I want to say this too, while we're here for the men out there.
I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to cry.
It's all right.
I'm
This
sorry.
your show. You
I
cry if you
know.
want to.
I didn't mean to cry. I apologize.
Ain't nobody mad at you. Nobody mad. And if you are mad, come see me. But one thing I had to learn too as a husband is it's okay if I don't know, right? As even though I'm supposed to be the provider, the protector, the one that she can come to for strength and guidance, I am not 100% the answer, right? And so there's a pride check there to where I have to stop saying I'm the chief on that. I'm the chief authority in the house, yeah,
right.
according to the Bible. But if my wife needs to get counseling that's outside of me because I don't have that capacity, or if my wife needs to get advice for someone who's more skilled or more in time tuned in that area than I am, then I have to be humble enough as a husband to say, babe, this is not something that I have the capacity to help you deal with right now. I have the capacity to do the best I can, but I don't have the capacity to be that answer that you need. you know, and to be truthful, no person really does. We know that it comes from God, but God strengthens people. And so all of these things are things you want to keep in mind. Go ahead, babe.
That strength, that strength really came from God, because when we first got married, it was extremely, extremely hard. Like he said, it didn't always come out in tears. It came out as, with my mouth, just being nasty with him, flipping out on him, not doing stuff for him.
That mouth, boy. Oh my Jesus.
It, so it didn't always just come out in tears. Man, listen, when I get into that season, when it comes to him, it's just, I I used to didn't care. Like, you fend for yourself.
Listen, when she
Ready
say
to
that,
fight.
she really means that. Like,
Right, ready to fight.
I get up, babe. You
I what?
never mind. I find it, babe. What's for dinner? Dinner.
Who cooking?
I cook.
Okay. I mean, it came. Listen, that's why I thank God for Jesus, because Jesus. I'll put you through some stuff when
I'm
it
glad
came.
you can admit it. I'm so glad that we at the place now that she can admit
I
what
put
she
you through
put
some
me
stuff.
through.
I have gotten a whole lot better to now. When I'm in that season of where I feel like I'm about to get, about to start being in my feelings again or whatever, I can come to him and be like, okay, babe, your wife ain't good.
And I know immediately stop everything, figure something out. And
Quick.
even though I say it comically, I mean that with everything. But Brandon said that's that New Orleans. She ain't
Yeah.
it. Anyway,
Talk about my
I'll
people.
keep going. We're gonna come back to the comments. I see some comments I want to come back to. I see something Judy Ashford said and something Corey Smith said. I'm gonna come back to that. But I had to learn to prepare for what I knew was coming, right? So when my wife came to me and she said, look, I'm not good, I know, okay, let me stop. Let me go ahead and figure out what I need to do to help her so we don't get to that space to where we arguing, we're fighting. But also, now that she's mature enough to say that, I'm also mature enough to know, okay, let me give her grace. In this season, I just need to extend grace. Because if she gets snappy or blah, she's not doing that. And then also what that does is it lowers my expectation. And what I mean by that is if I know she's not in a good place, I'm not going to put demand on her to keep being. And that's something that we've got to understand. We have got to, and I say we, I'll say this, I won't say we have got to, I'll say I would strongly encourage that you learn how to give your spouse grace to not have to live up to a continual standard in weak moments. Like, and I'll just be transparent. There were moments in our marriage that our marriage made it simply off the strength of the fact that I kept fighting, right? Period. Not we kept fighting. I kept fighting.
God was through.
And in the same aspect, there's more so me because we had this conversation, but there were times where she would fight too. But I say that to say that sometimes we give up on people because we don't see a return. We don't see effort. And a lot of times the good people, they're just broken. And who better to be broken in front of than your spouse?
Right.
Who better to not, I guess, not be able to be 100% than your spouse. There's a lot of men, one of the things they talk about, and it's a big issue, is the issue in our house. My wife talks about you so much to everybody else. You do this, you do that, you serve, you're so nice when you speak to people. Then when you get home, you get short-tempered. You don't move as quick. You don't jump when I say jump, but you jump if somebody else say jump. Let me call them, get them to ask you to do what I want you to do, because then I know you'll do it. And you'll do it wholeheartedly. Because if I ask you to do it, I'm coming. But if they actually do it, God bless you, I got you. So yeah, it's an argument in our house too. But with that, the counter argument is if I'm always 100%, then when do I get to not be, right? If I can't not be 100% at home, then where can I relax? Where can I not be that person? And so it's a countermeasurement argument. So you have to be willing in one area, be the husband to serve. Mm-hmm. You know that your wife wants that type of servitude, but same aspect as the wife. I ain't even finished yet. I ain't even finished yet. Nah.
I be giving you
as the wife, know how to let your husband take the armor off.
I let you take it off.
Nah.
Before I ask you to do something.
I want to go to these comments real quick.
That's why, for those of you who just tuned in, that's why we keep looking down because we can't see the comments.
Yeah, I see. Apparently, if you're watching from my personal page, I can't see them on the stream. But if you're watching from the Davis clan, we see them on the stream if you're commenting. But if you're watching from the personal page, I got to actually go to my phone to see it. But Coy Smith said something. He said, sometimes we can see something wrong, but we still don't know what's wrong, or knowing something is wrong and knowing what is wrong is different. And I agree wholeheartedly with that statement.
Do you?
I'm just saying, it's like I know something's going on, but I don't know what. And then when I ask you, you tell me it's nothing. And I gotta, we go through this all the time. Yeah, that's why you're laughing. Babe, what's wrong? Nothing. You're lying. You're lying. I know something's wrong. I just don't know what. And it takes 5 hours.
Well, because I got to get myself together. Because if I tell you, it's gonna come out.
But you know why why I press you so hard? Because you know what's gonna upset me? Keep myself together. You know what's gonna upset me? When I get to work and I get that, I just think it's funny because that's why. No, we're gonna talk about this now while I'm ready. While it's on my heart. Let's go ahead and get this out right now. Because you ain't finna text me while I'm at work and then I gotta read a whole book to figure out.
Well, that's when I done process it.
Process it now. Let's say it.
No, I need to, because if I say it now, it's gonna come out snappy and it's gonna.
Because I get tired of reading. I can't even read what you sent before I see dots coming up in a whole other paragraph that came.
I mean, I can't lie.
Or waking up to 15 unread messages.
Well, I would do better.
And they got the nerve to end it with it, but God bless you. Get off me. Get off me.
Yes, no, I don't.
Get off of me.
No, I do not.
No.
Stop.
I don't know if nobody else go through that. I'm just saying what we deal with.
Oh my God.
So that's why we're gonna talk about this. So Coy, I feel you. I don't know what's wrong, but I know something wrong.
The next comment.
And I'm not gonna let you have my phone blown up. Look, you better thank the Lord that they don't charge for text messages. Because I tell you right now, I'll be that block the whole phone. Look, back when they was usually charging you 50 cents a text, 10 cents a text.
I'm not that old, babe. Read
disrespect.
Read the comments.
You're not that much younger than me.
I am.
Put your hand on me.
Come on. So disrespectful.
Now, don't make me bring up the story about your phone when we first met.
Well, I was still staying with my dad.
Nah, don't do that.
My daddy gave me that phone.
What kind of phone was it? Yeah. When can I call you?
After 9. When it was free.
I'm talking about after 9. What is this?
Because my daddy was paying for it.
Why was you still having minutes?
Buy me a phone then.
All right, next comment. Sometimes women hold things in because men act like they don't understand. This comes from Judy Ashford.
Yep. Because I can sit there and tell you something, and you be like, "What you talking about, nigga? You."
Y'all pay for my wife.
I'm getting there. You know what I'm talking about. You know, don't ask me what you mean. You know exactly what they know.
No, what it is you know what you're talking about. And we both speaking English, but that don't mean I know what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I'm serious.
Mm-hmm. They know. They know.
No, I really no seriously.
So you don't be knowing that?
No. Okay, you have to understand that men and women speak two different languages, even though it's the same language.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Okay, right. I'm trying to think of a great example. Don't be trying to go to the next comment. I'm thinking you're gonna wait, but but basically we speak two different languages. So a lot of times what I say and what you hear are two different things, and what you say and what you mean what you say But what I hear and what I think you mean by what you said are two different things.
That's true. We talked about that at the marriage retreat. The marriage retreat.
Right.
That's true.
So don't act like
I said it's
nah.
true.
See, they had to correct you. Right, but Brandon says that's true. Men are simple. We need it broken down. Understanding is key. Look, I'm gonna tell you, this is why it gets so confusing, right? So my wife has a problem, and as a man, I like to be a problem solver. My wife doesn't want me to solve the problem. My wife just wants me to hear about the problem. As a man, I don't want to just hear about the problem. If you tell me it's a problem, this is how you solve it. No, just listen. I want to tell you why it's going on, why it's this, why I feel, understand what it made me do, and all this. No, just do this. That's all you got to do. We don't have to go through all that. Just do this. No, because you don't understand. You don't get. Just forget about it. Just you don't understand. Did you want it fixed or not? I want you to listen. I'm just trying to, because if I don't have to spend 30 minutes on a 6-minute solution, that's all I'm saying.
Because we want to explain ourselves. We want to be able to tell you how we feel, why we feel that way. Just listen. Just chill and listen. I go back to my other point. If somebody at the church will sit down and tell you something, you'll sit and listen. You'll sit and listen.
You see our whole tone changes now.
But when I want you to sit and listen, now you want to solve a problem in 6 minutes. When I want to tell you how I feel, why I feel it, and who did it, and what for. So you got to, listen.
Next comment.
Now we moving on to the next comment.
Because you get a little beside yourself.
Listen. All right. Tell the truth.
Toy Bank says, I think everyone has been at that point in a relationship where you would have to fend for yourself. It's just to teach a lesson on appreciating what one do for each other. And I think that's kind of good too. You got to also realize that there are certain things, and I get what the point that she's making. Sometimes when you go to those situations to where you kind of go to yourself, you start appreciating what your spouse does more because you have to do it, because you got to go and do it. And you start realizing, okay, this is something that I could normally depend on them for. You know, what's the saying? You never miss something until it's gone. And so sometimes they encourage you to try to spend time away from your spouse if that's something that you need to do, because it helps to bring you closer together when you have that time apart. All right.
The Ray says, that's why I'm single today. Thank you, Jesus.
Another book says, talking to our man is therapeutic for us. Let us talk. No. No, I am not your therapist. I'm playing. It's a joke. See, now I done got myself a show. Y'all pray for me.
Listen, I had to get my mind together because talking to you is therapeutic.
How so?
Because it's like we don't get to be vulnerable with nobody else except with our man. So it's like, let me be vulnerable with you. Let me talk to you. Let me tell you what's going on with me and what happened about my day and stuff. Especially, I've told you before, especially with me being a stay-at-home mom, I be around children all day. I talk to kids all day. I want to talk to some grown people. That's why, listen, every day, I kid you not, y'all can look at my call out. Every day when we get up and I take Z to school, me and him was on the phone.
I could be at work. I'll be at work. I'm like, babe, I got to call you back. You ain't doing that. I'm at work. What they got to do with me? Get off my phone. I got to do this job.
But we be on the phone all day from the time you get at work to the time you get off. We may get off,
listening to each other breathe.
Yeah.
Right.
But we still be on the phone. I love
Just so she won't be psychotic because she see here at home with children. She got to call me and listen to me say, hey, how I doing? How can I help you? Oh, you won't tell me how you can help me. I got this going on in my ear while I'm trying to help people. You don't talk to me like that. You don't ask me how my day was. Oh, you want to keep going or you want to change subjects? Okay. If we here, I'm just saying.
Petty.
I'm petty.
You so petty.
I'm petty. I'm just saying, if we gonna be here, we gonna be here.
He's so petty. But you don't know. You'll ask me how my day is.
I'm just saying, I get tired of that. Well, on the phone. Hey, how you doing? Who that is speaking to you? Don't make me come up there. What did you Hey, that's my supervisor. Leave me alone.
really do that. Let me defend myself because you're not gonna do that. I do that because the way they speak to you, they sound flirtatious. They sound flirtatious. So I have to, But in my defense, though, some little bride was trying to do her thing, and me and my kids had to pull up.
That did not happen.
She was talking.
The little bride she talking about is 62.
We still had to pull up and get kids, get your stuff, get your shoes on, because we going to daddy's job. Why?
The 62. I just want y'all to understand that. I said, Ivan, the lady, leave me alone.
Because she on there trying to flirt with you, talking about if she was a little bit younger.
She did not say that.
Yeah,
Stop making up
yes,
stuff.
she did.
No, she did not.
So what you told me she
No,
did.
what are you getting this from?
Okay.
What is this? Did you dream this?
No.
This did not happen.
Yes, it did.
No, it did
You
not.
told me and said, the lady said, if you just a little bit younger.
That was a customer.
I had to pull up. But you ain't fit to do that.
That was a customer. And she had just came from eye surgery, had a big old patch over her eye, like this. And she was just like, if you were just a little bit younger. I said, babe, this lady who just had eye surgery tried to holler at me. You bringing that up?
And I had to pull up. Kids, get your shoes on.
But I can say, I'm hollering, not a hardy senior.
Not what?
Not a hardy senior citizen. I'm telling y'all, like, when I tell you, I can't with her.
And when I tell you, I'll play like this one right here.
I said, Ivan, she's 62. Please leave me alone. Please. I promise you, I got
get
it.
Your shoes on. Been up there at the post office. Where she at?
So anyway.
Who did you marry, babe?
I don't know no more.
I'm good.
I don't know.
I'm good.
But again, all these things are things that, you tend to just have to deal with. Like I had to learn that, even though it's more comical now, when we first got together, she was the same way, but way more serious. What we laugh and joke about now, we were been arguing and fighting about back then.
Fighting.
Because one of the things she had was a lot of old relationships didn't treat her right? So she was scarred. She was scarred from men who didn't love her. That's what it says, but she's still breathing enough, right?
Barely.
She also said that this is like a reality show. I'll tune in again on your next night. What time? We try to come on usually on Saturdays. We usually try to come on usually in the afternoon. But we try to do it once a month. So you just kind of got to look out for the promotional material. If you have not already liked the page, make sure you go to the Davis Clan page and like the page. That's usually where we go live from. I just decided to go live from my personal page tonight as well. That's why we're having the issues with the comments back and forth. All right.
We do it. Oh, babe, we do have a giveaway for y'all.
Oh, yeah. So
it's
make sure
y'all on here.
Make sure y'all tune in. What we're going to do is we're going to put all the names into a pot. Do the computer random generate, but we got a giveaway for the couples on tonight. It is, help me hold it up now. Help.
Look what holler at me.
All right, here we go. Can y'all see this? I can't. Okay, it says 100 dates bucket list, and let me cover that up because we already scratched off one. This is ours, so this ain't the one you getting. Yours still in the box. But it's basically 100 different date ideas, and as you do each date, you scratch them off, and it's a bucket list. So this is gonna be the giveaway on tonight,
just to give the couple something to do.
Give you something to do. But if this is your first time, we always doing giveaways. It's always something different. The first time, I think we did Amazon gift cards, and after that, what did we do?
Did a trip giveaway.
Yeah, we just gave somebody a vacation. So we do all kind of giveaways, and shout out to our sponsors that help out with us to facilitate the giveaways. So so we're thankful for those who tie into what we're doing. So all right, next comment. Latoya Banks says, "Lord, I thank you for growth because I know I've had some show out days. Don't tell your business on here. Don't tell your business.
Listen, you ain't even I show out days. We can talk about some show out days.
That's what they say. I don't want to be a couple, so I skipped it. Don't worry, we are mindful of the singles as well. So we definitely
we do things for the singles as well.
We do giveaways for the singles too.
We
so
sure do.
All you have to do is just let us know, and then we'll adjust accordingly. But again, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in on tonight. One of the points that I was going to bring up, talking about what we were talking about, you and how your jealousy issues was such a big thing for us.
Mhm.
Because but it was not just because you were just quote unquote jealous, but it was because of your history. So for that case in point, anything that I did that looked remotely close to what she experienced automatically triggered, right? And so it brought me to the point. I was like, well, who is this? Why are
Who
you
did I
flipping out?
marry?
Why are you flipping out over this? Like I do this all the time. Well, that's what they did. I'm like, but I'm not doing what they did.
How I know?
You know, because you can see I'm not doing what they did.
That Latoya Banks, that was them show out days. But
And
the Lord is good.
but see, with that, I had to ask myself the question: okay, do I want to be mad at how she's responding, or do I want to understand why? Right? And then me taking time to understand, okay, why are you responding this way? Why are you triggered? Learning her history, learning what's going on, Kira. Learning her, I guess, mannerisms. Okay, what did they do to you? What happened? Talk to me. Tell me what these men did that what I'm doing triggers you so much so that where you have no trust, and I've never done nothing. Like, let's talk about it.
Right.
And just because we talked about it didn't mean she was cured.
Right.
And just because she talked about it didn't mean she was healed, and didn't mean that she had completely trusted me. It meant that she was vulnerable enough to expose me to her pain, but that didn't automatically make me earn her trust. I had to earn that trust by going through a backlog of pain and going through all of that hurt. And I had to ask myself, was I willing to do that? And those are things that you really have to be honest about. And sometimes we get to a point where we tell ourselves, I don't want to do all of that work. Well, you married them, first of all, so you don't
Right.
think they deserve that type of work and effort? You
And
know,
it's so worth it. It's worth it. Because you stuck by me, babe. Through them hardships.
I mean, you were somebody to stick by. Like you were never not a good woman. You just had flaws, just like I have flaws. You were there for me and my flaws. You may not have been able to be everything I needed you to be in the moment, but I promise you, I wasn't there for you either. But the thing was, when we saw, I guess, where we needed to grow, we took that time to try to grow, and
Right.
that's what makes, I believe, a successful marriage is not so much who you are when you get married, but who you become while you're married.
Mm-hmm.
How you're willing to grow and develop and change.
Right.
And a lot of times, like I said earlier, that may majorly fall or majorly or commonly or whatever the word you want to use, because I'm at this point I'm just throwing out random adjectives, but that may fall on one person for the majority of the time. You might find yourself constantly changing, and you might say to yourself, well, my spouse is not changing. What do I do? You know, who is this person that refuses to adapt? Who is this person that's stuck in their ways or that's stubborn? How do I break through that stubbornness?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times our answer to stubbornness is to demand change. This is what I want. This is what you need to do.
And that makes it worse.
Right. I'll tell you this. One of the things that really helped our marriage out was we were at a crossroads. We were at a point where we were thinking about separating because we were going back and forth. Boom. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I said, Lord, this woman that you gave me, praying to God, this woman that you gave me, what am I supposed to do with her? She don't understand me. She don't get me. She don't understand what I'm going through. She don't want to know what I'm dealing with. She don't want to listen. And in that prayer, and this is why it's important too, that you definitely have a relationship with God, because marriage is a godly principle.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage is God's idea. But in that moment of prayer, I'll never forget it. The Lord said, look at yourself. In that moment of prayer, I'm going to him about all the stuff my wife is doing because I'm fed up and I'm trying to do it his way, but it ain't working. And I said, God, this is everything she's doing wrong. And he said, look at what you're doing wrong. Change you. And I'm like, why would I change me when she's not changing? That don't seem right to me. I would think that if I'm going to change me, she should change. He's like, change you. And so that was the hardest thing I ever had to do, was to work on the things that my wife was telling me to work on while watching her not do the things that I needed her to do. But I was doing everything that she needed me to do.
I think you said, I remember you told me that you also put in, not the comments, you also said that while God was speaking to you about you changing, that if you change and she see you changing, then she'll change because you're the head, you're the covering. So if you change and see she sees you, then the wife will change.
And
And
that
that's exactly what happened.
it didn't happen overnight though.
It did.
And the only reason why I'm saying that is not to belittle my wife, but to give reverence or attention to the fact that there was a space where I could have been bitter because
Mm-hmm.
here I am trying to do everything I can to be a better person, and I don't really see you doing that. But what it did do was when we had our next conversation, and she had moved to the next issue of what she wanted me to do, and I brought up the issues that were still present. I had a list of things that I could go back to, and I said, "Well, wait a minute. Let's backtrack real. What did you ask me to do this? Yeah. Did I do it? You did. Okay. Did you ask me to do this? Yeah. Did I do it? You did. And then when I went down that list, all of a sudden her mood and her emotions changed because now instead of her just going to the next thing and being mad in that moment, she started realizing that even though she was legit about the thing that she was upset about, she had overlooked the changes.
Mm-hmm.
And by her overlooking the changes, it caused her to not be as grateful for the man. We have to be willing and able sometimes to be able to say, I'm willing to go through that process,
right,
to make the changes that you want so that you can see I'm trying. But it also gives you leverage that when you go back and revisit the conversation, you can say, hey, listen, I'm doing the work.
Right.
Let me show me your effort.
Right.
It ain't just he say, she say. You're showing them, listen, I can prove my love. I can prove my level of commitment, you know, and it helps change the conversation.
Oh no, I'm good. I was just gonna say that we was gonna I guess go through the ones who was commenting and put the names in the a little drawing thing to see who win the giveaway.
All right. So let's see. We got one last comment that I saw. It says from Desiree Hobson. It says, do you have to know if you gave your spouse to yourself or did God give them to you? So I think the question that she's asking is when it came to me, I don't know if it's particular to us in our situation or in general, but I can speak on us because I've heard some people say that God told them who their spouse was. That wasn't my situation. Now, what happened with me and my wife was I was at a place to where I kind of realized I was tired of being alone. But I dealt with oh, she's saying in general. I can speak to us and then I kind of give I guess an idea of what I think in general. But so what ended up happening was we at the time me and my wife met. I was at a place where I knew I didn't want to be alone anymore, but I didn't know who that would be or how that would look. I was newly saved, never had, I guess, any real experience of trying to date as a Christian. Because I've dated in the world, but how does that look as when you save? Certain things you're not supposed to do no more because of the Bible. So I'm like, I don't know. So didn't know. Then out at the same time too, as a man at that time, I dealt with insecurity really, 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 really bad, very bad. Didn't see myself in any great way, any great light. And people that know me they know through the ministry, I usually tell a testimony that at the time I got saved, I was actually pretty much homeless. Didn't really have no clothes, no nothing. So you can imagine, like I met my wife like a year later. So like I was basically recovering from a lot. And so anyway, when we met or when we crossed, I just thought she was just a good looking woman, but I didn't think I had a chance. I didn't think I had a chance at all. It just so happened that at the time that we met, I just happened to pay for her meal, and but I paid for it without even knowing because what it was, her best friend at the time had just gotten married to who was my best friend at the time, and so we were going out to celebrate a mutual friend that we all had together. Yeah. It's crazy, but anyway, so they were supposed to be there, and me and the guy was there already, and he was on the phone with his wife, and he was saying that she wasn't coming because she had a friend with her, and she didn't want him paying for her friend. Jealousy. So I was like, hey man, you and your wife, y'all just got married. Y'all need to be together. You know what? I'll pay for the friend. I didn't. I thought it was somebody who I knew. I didn't think nothing of it. So and I paid for the meal or whatever, or I was paying for the meal or whatever. And I don't know if he's still on here, but Corey Smith was there that night because I had hit him up because I didn't want to be there by myself. I was like, bro, man, we going out, man. We and so he still talks trash to me to this day because of this. So he was there because we was just gonna hang out or whatever. So anyway, she walks in, and when she walks in, I look and I'm like, I don't know that friend. And so I immediately got nervous. So I turned all the way to the game. Like I was sitting at the table and it was a TV right there. I just turned to the TV. I was like, I'm not here for this. Her fast self. I'm just playing. It's jokes. It's just we laughing. It's funny.
You know how Will Smith got up.
Play with it.
Keep playing with me.
I ain't Chris Rock. That's all I was saying.
Keep playing.
I ain't Chris Rock. You try that. You try that if you want to.
Keep my name out your mouth. Play with me.
But anyway, what I was trying to say was she got up and she actually came and sat by me. And basically, what was your reason for doing that? Because I can't tell her like you tell her. That's the only reason.
Tell me when I sit by you, because I was just being nice because you paid for my food. And
that is like, not how you know.
When I sat by you and you turned your back to me, and I'm like, why this guy not talking? I'm gonna get together. Why this guy not talking? So what I did, did I bump you? I did something, got you to turn around.
You just started talking to me, but you did what she always told me. I thought she was gonna be truthful, but what she always told me was she was basically like, I refused to not talk to you and you paid for my meal. So she basically was forcing me to have a conversation with her.
I did force you because like you paid for my meal. That was a nice thing to do. Then when he did turn around and talk to me.
We done now. Oh. Yeah. You about to go too far.
Okay.
Because I don't even believe that happened.
Oh, it happened.
I don't even believe
nachos and the cheese was. He talked, y'all. He had nachos and cheese hanging from his beard, all kind of stuff. Trying to talk to me.
Hey, look where she at.
Yep.
Okay. Look where she at.
Yep. All
right. Right. So obviously it wasn't that nasty.
I thought this.
But anyway, so the long story short,
that was
the point I'm making was that night just kind of happened, and what ended up going from there was we went to drop her off home, us and all the friends or whatever. She was in the car, and for some reason she just refused to get out of the car. We were sitting in front of the house. I'm like, like get out the car. Like, what are you doing?
Talking.
We was not talking. Like it was like dead.
All of us was talking.
And I looked at her and I'm like, yo,
no, all of us was talking. That's why I didn't get out of the car. He got like,
I'm like, no, okay.
So he had like I was, waiting on him, but I stayed there.
No, I stayed
there because all of us was talking.
She said
so all of a sudden, no, why you had on there? All of a sudden, he gives me his phone. Like, you gonna put your number in my phone?
That's not what I did. This is exactly what I did because she trying to lie. I had on my phone. I was like, go ahead, man. Ooh,
don't be acting like I. Ooh,
that's exactly what I did.
Let's go ahead and end this because you
that's exactly. I was like, yo, go ahead, put the number in my phone. And she looked at me like, what?
Boy, bye.
I was like, yeah, that's what you wrote. That's what you wrote. You want my number. That's all you had to say. Like, you ain't had to, we done been out your house almost a whole hour, man. I got to go home.
He's looking at, okay. I'm going to let you have it.
I'm telling the truth.
Okay.
I'm telling the truth.
Okay, baby.
And who you going to believe? The one that rode in the car or the one that drove?
Okay, baby.
Oh, okay. Y'all think I'm lying? I wish my Facebook page was still here. My original Facebook page. What happened by the time I got home that night?
That don't mean nothing.
What happened by
that don't mean nothing.
What did you do?
So we.
No. What did you do by the time I got home that night?
I went to your Facebook page.
And liked what? The fact that
you were born.
That's the very first post on Facebook. You know how far you got to scroll down somebody's timeline to like the fact that they were born?
That don't mean that nothing.
I get home. I said, I was decent like the fact that you was. I was like, how far did she go through my
I had to
page?
see how you looking, what you doing,
You scroll through. You know how many years
everything.
I had been on Facebook?
Oh well, I had to investigate.
I said, good God, you ain't had nothing but time.
I did listen. I
But
had
but
already
y'all think
ate.
I'm lying?
I
Nah.
had already ate. I had to
Now who do y'all
investigate.
believe now?
I still
Who
did.
do y'all believe?
Okay.
Okay, all
Okay.
right. But in general, because we don't got
Way off track.
in general, I think a lot of times with that situation, I believe that there is a concept of the one for you, but the one for you is the one that's willing to become or change or grow or develop. That's what I believe. And they're God given because of their heart.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people that have had two great spouses, right? And so the question becomes: is there only one person, or is it like the Spirit of God operating through that person? So I guess when it kind of sounds, I guess, crazy, but it's not crazy. It's just that so many times we limit it to the world's idea of this special person that's out there somewhere. You just got to find them. But like I told you, in our situation, my wife, it's not like God spoke to her and said, he your husband. And it's not like God came down from heaven and sat in front of me and said, yeah, that's definitely your wife. It was just more so when we met, we realized both of us had qualities that we liked. She exactly met the mold of the woman that I was looking for at the time, of course, because I didn't know that she would be so much more and so much greater, and I would need so much more. Um, I believe, honestly, to be honest, sometimes I look at my wife and really feel like I got lucky. Um, I feel like God, you really looked out on me, because yeah, I could have been so much worse, but thank God for what I got. And that's why I fight so hard for my marriage. When you realize that you got a good one, you fight for it. You don't give nobody else the option to be able to have that. Like, nah, I don't care if she's going through right now. That's still mine. You know what I'm saying?
Period. Yes, daddy speak. Go ahead.
I'm done now. You just threw the whole. I was in the middle of a good one.
And that's
I was in the zone.
I know, baby.
You
That
was
just touched me.
You was about to get showered with praise.
That just you didn't even have to go no further. That just touched me, baby. I love you.
Duh, you know that.
I love you.
I was in the zone. You just messed the whole zone up.
No, that was good.
All right, y'all. So we've been on here over an hour. Thank y'all for tuning in. Listen, this is actually the last. Is this the last
for this season?
Yeah. So this is the last official episode for this season from Dating to Marriage. We are going to be announcing the next season soon.
Hey.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, the next season is going to be crazy. It's going to be dope. But if you would all like us to do a Q&A session in this season, let us know in the comments. Let us know, hey, we want you all to do just an episode from Dating to Marriage for a Q&A, where we just hit you with questions and you all answer it. We'd be willing to do that, but we can only do that if you all participate. So you let us know if you're interested. If you're interested. Thank you. If you are interested, or not arrested, but interested, if you are interested, make sure that you submit your questions to us. You can do it through our email at undefiledministry@gmail.com. You can also inbox us at the Davis Clan, or inbox us personally on my personal page, my wife's personal page. If you have our numbers, hit us up, whatever. If you want to remain incognito, don't want nobody to know who asked the question, there is that option. Just let us know when you submit the question that this is the question that you have, but you don't want nobody to know that you asked it, and we will read it anonymously and then give our answer and our feedback. So if you are interested in that, let us know in the comment sections or hit us up or whatever, so we can know to do that. But if not, or if we don't feel like there's a major feedback to do that type of episode, then we'll just go ahead and move forward with season 2. All right. But again, thank y'all for tuning in. If you have not seen the previous video, oh my bad, you got something to say? Okay. If you have not seen the previous videos, make sure you go back and watch them all the way back from I think it was September last year, the meet and greet. Then we did Why Did I Get Married, Table Manners, and Entanglement. So make sure you go back and watch those as well. Again, all of this is from the series From Dating to Marriage. This has been an exciting time. We've been excited to share. So if you are going to be a part of the giveaway, you've probably already did what it takes to win which is just comment. So that's how we go back and pick the winners.
Right.
So if you have been watching and you have not commented, make sure you comment
something
so that we can see it. Because we're gonna take those names that's in the comments, we're gonna put them in the little spinny wheel thing that you find on the internet that does it for you, and we're gonna pick a winner. And again, you'll be winning the 100 dates. All right. Would you help me, please?
Oh,
you know this thing hit me all in the face. You win this, which is 100 dates off the bucket list. It's just a list of different dates that you can do. Great for helping you to come up with random date ideas. Too many times we go through the motions in marriage and we stop dating our spouse. So this is actually very great. We're helping you to keep the dates fresh. And come up with fresh ideas. So we want to be able to gift that to someone on tonight. So make sure that you are commenting so the winner can be announced. We may do, because I'm feeling a little bit more generous, we may do another giveaway. We may do 2. We're going to do 2. We're doing 2. All right. So make sure you comment. Yeah, we're doing 2. Somebody's going to get the bucket list. Somebody else is getting a gift card. All right. So make sure you comment. Somebody's going to get a digital gift card to Amazon. I know LLA, yeah, LLA. Ladies love Amazon. So, but yeah, so make sure y'all like them comments up if you have not already. It's for your chance to win it. I don't know the amount yet, but it's gonna be a gift card. So I already put that out there, so it's gonna be done. Husbands, if you don't want your wives to win, don't want your wives to win the gift card because they already do too much shopping, just comment. Don't give it to my wife. But I was sitting there incognito because they'll probably know it was you. And yeah, you have a problem. All right. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Until the next time, peace.